This week is a new Whiskey Wednesday. Here we go. All right, I'm excited about this week because this is kind of a non-traditional thing for me. My wife went to Ireland right before Christmas, and she brought me back some Tullemore D.E.W. traditional Irish whiskey. It's a single malt, triple distilled, 14-year in traditional oak cask. It's something new for me. Tullemore D.E.W. is an actual Irish distillery. The D.E.W. stands for one of Ireland's greatest distillers, Daniel Edmund Williams. Okay, so that's D.E.W. And in the design on the bottle, they kind of hide the dots in between the D.E.W. So it looks like Tullemore D.E.W, but it's actually Tullemore D.E.W. And I don't know if over there they pronounce the D.E.W. as do or if they just D.E.W. No idea. Never been there. I don't even have a passport. Let it breathe just a little bit. Also, I'm pretty proud of this this new whiskey glass. I got a set of 4 for Christmas from my wife. They are Mountains of the Northwest. This particular one is Mount Hood. There's a Mount Rainier, a Mount Shasta, Mount Olympus, and that's all of them. Yeah, and it's pretty awesome. But the mountain rises up in the bottom of the glass. It's pretty cool. The triple distilled, they use 100% malted barley, and it must be matured in cask for at least 3 years to be called whiskey. The Irish whiskey, obviously, is W-H-I-S-K-E-Y, as opposed to the W-I-S-K-Y. Now, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. It just was used to differentiate between Irish and Scottish whiskey back 4 million years ago. Approximately. This is a little bit different than what I'm used to because it has more citrusy, apple, citrus, spice. There isn't much, you don't get much nose from the oak, but you can definitely pick up on the apple and the citrus. The citrus, there's a real light citrusy smell to it. And I don't mean light like you can't smell it very well, but as opposed to like the Woodford Reserve Double Oak that has a heavier caramel oaky smell to it. This is a very lighter style. I would say this is probably more of a summer whiskey just because I did try it. This isn't going to be a first taste deal. I did try it the other night. And it's definitely a completely different flavor profile than like a Woodford Reserve or an Old Forester or something along those lines. This is an Irish whiskey, and I'll tell you, it is smooth. It's actually very smooth. It's a 80 proof, so about 41.3% ABV, and it doesn't warm me up like some of the other stuff that I've tried recently does. I think it's been opened up long enough. We'll try a little taste here. It is smooth as hell. It really is. Now, what I will say about the Tullemore D.E.W. is, I'm going to keep saying do because I'm looking at it. It's D.E.W. I can't see the periods, and I'm an idiot. The Tullemore D.E.W. flavor profile, it's really not what I'm looking for, all right? But I think a lot of people would really, really like this, especially as a lighter summer whiskey because of the notes of citrus. It does feel really bright and the risk of sounding goofy, cheery, okay? And look, I totally acknowledge I am goofy. Okay, but even though I am goofy, if you enjoy what we do here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, tap a like, ring that bell so you get notifications to come watch this goofy visage do reviews about whiskey, beer, tech, and travel. What I will say is when I tried this the first time, I wasn't sure that I liked it. Not because it's a bad whiskey, but because it's not really to my taste. Now, what I'll add right now is drinking it tonight, I'm getting a completely different feel from it. I actually enjoy it more tonight. Part of it is because it is so dang smooth. I mean, incredibly smooth. There is virtually no burn. So your first hit, you're gonna get that citrus, and then it leaves a sweet taste in your mouth. You know, I joked about the Woodford Reserve that, oh, this is kind of like a dessert. I call it a dessert because of the caramel and the vanilla. But this is sweet, Okay, so I would, maybe if you're going to have a savory meal and you were having a cocktail before the meal, I could see going with something like this and then following it with something savory. Or if you had a very savory, salty meal and you wanted to change up your flavor profile afterwards to kind of balance out your palate, I could see going with something like the Tullemore D.E.W. Now, this is a 14-year, okay? So it's, I guess I would call it fancy, but, I've lived in at least 4 trailer homes. So, I mean, I'm not exactly cultured, if you will. My wife bought it in Ireland, and she got it for about 70 euros. So if you carry the one asterisk, apostrophe, ampersand, I think you're going to get it. It's going to probably be about $80 American. It's worth it. It's good. It's a very clean tasting whiskey. There isn't a lot of garbage there. And what I would like to do, and I haven't yet, is try it on ice. They really do recommend ice. On the Tullemore website, they do actually say that ice to a liquor connoisseur is like heat to a chef, that it can bring out the flavors. It'll also make your drink last a little longer. I mean, if you're cheap. On other whiskeys, it'll take a little bit of that bite off of it, which this doesn't have. So it's really unnecessary to make it softer and easier to take in, because it's not that kind of whiskey. It's not harsh at all. It's just a matter of getting keep using the word palate, but getting your palate used to something that's a little sweeter, more summery and citrusy. Look, it's 4 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. 4. Wind chill of -21. I probably wouldn't traditionally pick this as a whiskey that I would drink tonight. I would probably go with something a little bit smokier and warmer in front of the fire or something like tonight. But I had to crack this open and check it out because it was a Christmas gift. And the bottle, look, check this out. The bottle is really cool. And I don't know if you can get this here. Let's see if we can get it here. Yeah, check out the cork. It's actually imprinted with the 1829, which is when the distillery was started. It's a really neat bottle. The 1829 stamp is on the front of the bottle, 1829 stamped into the cork, actually cut into the cork. And then the shape of the bottle, I think, is kind of sexy. I know that seems silly, but I really do enjoy the presentation of the bottle. It's a lighter colored whiskey, obviously, so the nice thing is it kind of fleshes out a display of whiskey, if you will. I just took it out of the box. The box is beautiful, right? It's a nice display box if you want to leave it in there. Sits in there very nice, very snug. Tell you a little bit about the distillery. It was established in 1829 in Tullamore County, Offaly, in the heart of Ireland. The Tullemore D.E.W. Irish whiskies are renowned for their exceptional smoothness and distinctive character. I would agree with that. It's very smooth, very distinctive. This triple distilled 14-year-old single malt is no exception, characterized by its unique 4-cask recipe in old bourbon, Oloroso sherry, port, and Madeira. Tullemore D.E.W. 14-year single malt is an intensely rich and smooth whiskey. It is smooth. And the flavor is rich. There is a lot of flavor to it. It's just lighter and airier than what I am traditionally used to. The unique combination of wood, sweet citrus, and tropical fruit notes, evident on the nose, deliver a flavor reminiscent of rich fruits united with light spice. The finish is very smooth with long-lasting sweetness. I don't know if I've ever had anything described as accurately as Tullemore describes this particular spirit. You do catch the tropical fruit notes. There is a sweetness. It is incredibly smooth. The only thing that I would disagree with, and maybe it's been a year since I've had COVID, but my palate's just a little bit off still. I don't get the oak, and I don't really get much of the other cask flavors. Maybe a little bit of the bourbon, maybe. God, there's almost like a Scotch in there. So maybe that's the bourbon, and because it is a lighter color, a lighter whiskey. It is nice, though, to be able to compare a Woodford Reserve American whiskey to an Irish whiskey and see how disparate they really are. They're a very different flavor. I do have a bottle of Old Forester 1910 on the way, so I'll be interested to compare that to the Woodford. And I also have a little we'll probably do a Whiskey Wednesday. Look at this cute little guy. Right, a little airport or airplane style bottle of traditional Irish whiskey from the Temple Bar in Dublin. So this stuff is almost clear. So I don't know if this is going to kill me. This is 80 proof, also 40% alcohol by volume. So I mean, it's not terrible. I'll have to get some readers or something and read that description when I do it. But I'm excited because, when I first started doing these whiskey reviews, I said this was going to really open up the possibilities for a guy like me. I don't always have to drink beer, which I do actually have some beer reviews coming in the future. I just did. You should check out the Single Speed Cocoa Mint Milk Stout review because that was a delicious beer, and I love supporting local breweries. Single Speed Brewery here in Waterloo was amazing. So going from doing a Single Speed Brewery beer review to a genuine Irish whiskey review from Ireland is kind of a neat juxtaposition between the two. I'm gonna finish drinking this from my Mount Hood glass. Before we go though, we'll talk about flavor. For me personally, for my liking, for my tastes, I'd probably give it a 6. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's going to grow on me. But I do think other people, because of the clean crispness of the flavor and the smoothness of the finish, I think a lot of people would like this. If you like an Irish whiskey, you're probably going to love Tullemore D.E.W. 14 year. You're probably going to absolutely love it. It's a 4-cask finish, so it's not like it just sat in one cask and got kick your ass strong. I think if you like Irish whiskey, you're going to like the Tullemore D.E.W. 14 year. It's something that I'm going to have to kind of grow into. So I'm going to give it personally for me a 6, and I bet you if you like Irish whiskey, it's probably going to be an 8 or a 9 for you. Price, I think that the €70 translated to probably 80 bucks US is, I mean, pretty reasonable. It's a little on the higher end. Woodford was 65 for the double oaked. Old Forester that I've got coming, I think, is around 60 bucks. It's right around there. It's not a $150 bottle of whiskey by any means. And presentation, I really do like the bottle. The bottle, the cork, the shape of the bottle has really, I find really sexy lines, and the stamping and everything is great. The label is simple but classic. So I really enjoy it. And then the box, I don't know that I'll ever want to get rid of it even after I'm done drinking the whiskey. So taste, I'll give it a 6 for me, a 9 probably for everybody else. Price, you're going to be right there in the middle of the road, so I think it's really reasonable. I'll go ahead and give it an 8/9 for the price. And then the presentation of the product is a 10 out of 10. I think that the bottle's gorgeous, and it's a beautiful looking, the coloring on it, everything is beautiful. Font, typeset, the presentation of the box, it's really, really, really amazing. So across the board, it is a good whiskey. It's just something new that I'm going to have to get used to and kind of settle into. I'm going to drink this and go to sleep. Love you. And again, if you like everything we've done here on this channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so you can be notified when new videos come out.